Hey guys, my name is Jeremiah.
And my name is Sophie.
And we're the Malaries.
So recently there was a Relevant magazine. I keep looking at you, which is distracting you, so let me look here. There was a Relevant magazine article that touched on the roles between male-female friendships and said that if a female or a male is married and they have friends of the opposite gender, that they should not text them, because texting is the slippery slope to hell and infidelity. So, Jeremiah, I know you read it, Sophie's heard us talk about it, but what's your take on that? Because now you're married, so I'm guessing texting is no longer, a part of your lives.
Can you explain the logic behind that?
So
why that's a slippery slope?
So the logic is, if you were in bed with your husband at nighttime, you would not invite somebody over to your bed with your husband for a conversation. So why do you use your cell phone and invite them into your bed? That was a logic.
Here's my take, and this is just this is a trailer for the second part of this relationship / marriage video coming soon. Here's my take. Men, brothers, boys, you know when you shouldn't be saying something to a girl. That's it.
Do you think that's really true?
Yeah, no, I feel like you don't accidentally send pictures of your private parts to another girl. You know what you're doing.
Alright, but
That's not the only...
but not in that kind of extreme situation.
What?
So, like, just regular conversation.
So what about sharing
Oh.
life through conversation?
Yeah. Like friendly texts. Friendly texts.
He's like getting so upset.
Dude, honestly,
There's nothing there, Jeremiah.
just don't be dumb. That's just how I feel. Don't be dumb. I know if or when I'm being dumb. Don't be dumb.
That's valid.
Don't text someone that you know you shouldn't be texting. That's my take on it. But in that same vein, don't act like every girl is the bane of your existence. Because I acted like that, as Nina has stories. And my take here is this. If you demonize girls, you will also idolize them in the same sense. So if I treat every girl that's not Sophie like she's my kryptonite, then she will be my kryptonite. But if I realize that Sophie is my wife or my significant other and she's there and she is, in my eyes and in my life, the most beautiful girl in the world,
Aww.
then that kind of just switches the whole framework on it. With that said, I'm not perfect at it, but just don't be dumb.
So one thing I want to say is this is coming from the guy who...
Who did this?
Who, by the way...
Who did this?
Okay, Jeremiah, a friend, and myself all live in Long Island. And basically, our commute was long, right? How long was the commute?
An hour.
Mine was 50 minutes.
3 hours both ways.
Yeah, it was a long time. So, Jeremiah, when I first met him, I asked him, Jeremiah, are you taking the train home? He said, yeah, I'm taking the train home. I'm like, do you want to take the train home together? And then I forgot what you said.
I said I don't talk to girls.
And then...
Because I read some dumb article or some dumb demonizing sermon about how women are...
And I don't think we were told Jeremiah this, but Jeremiah had a paragraph that he would send to his female friends saying, I'm in a relationship and I respect my girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized he sent me the paragraph, he sent my friend the paragraph, and I don't know how many other people. So even this guy is saying...
I just sent it straight down my text message. Because I read the Relevant magazine.
And this is before Relevant magazine. But even you realize I guess it becomes unhealthy at a point when you always are having that mentality. But there should still be a division. So where do you guys find that line?
Well, I want to respond to the original question.
Oh, yeah.
I like bathwater. Or, and I heard this before in the off-Broadway play, it's like a dog with fleas. A dog has fleas, and you're trying to get rid of the fleas by hitting it with a bat. And so, I get the sentiment. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be texting some people. At the same time, though, you still would have to learn what appropriate boundaries are for friendships so that you can maintain healthy friendships between friends of both genders, because I think that adds a value, right? And if you have to question whether something crosses the boundary or not, you're probably crossing the boundary, which I think is helpful. Hey, if you want to check in with a friend, should I be saying this? Should I have done that? Maybe not. Then maybe you should backtrack or whatever. There's, accountability, right? So I don't think it's one or the other. I think that's not necessarily setting you up for sustainability, because you're going to run into somebody of the opposite sex. You're going to end up texting somebody. It could be like, hey, how are you doing? Or, hey, I'm checking in. Hey, something happened. Are you okay? You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to put it in a box and then throw it out. So, maybe the time in the bedroom is going to be sacred and you shouldn't be on your phones anyway, because texting can wait. That's the beauty of texting. But we're in this age where talking on the phone is probably more intimate than texting. So I think we have to take that into consideration too, the age of the person writing this. Generationally, millennials are just different because of social media and the way they've been conditioned in today's society. So that's something also to take into consideration. But in any case, I think it's a conversation that needs to be continued. And I'm all for that.
And if not, then you get hit with a baseball bat.
Don't try to get rid of fleas with a baseball bat.
Or else you're going to get hit with a baseball bat.
You're going to get fleas.
No, you're going to get... You don't understand.
I don't understand where this analogy's going anymore.
It had a good start.
Yeah, she doesn't understand the analogy.
But it's very true, because it's something that's relevant, like Relevant Magazine. But
Relevant Magazine's not relevant.
But I think the writer had good intentions. He was just misled,
I think he was trying to make a point. He might have been trying to drive a point, so I'll respect him that, give him the benefit of the doubt. But, we'll have our own perspectives because he's also a different person.
Can you imagine
and
his
maybe
wife?
He's been hurt. Right, maybe he's been hurt. Maybe he's run into certain issues. So for him, the safest thing is to run the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But you don't want to take that and give it a formula and ask if this is going to be perfect for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
And you would have to find out what his story is.
Right.
So if Jeremiah were to tell you today that you should not text any guy of the opposite gender, you should call them if you need to text them instead.
Calling them.
That's what he recommended to do.
He recommended a call. Don't call. Okay? We dated because of a phone call.
Really? A 5-hour phone call though.
We dated because I had a question that turned into a 5-hour phone call. Don't it's not.
That's true. Phone calls are worse. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's more intimate now.
I'm gonna leave you with this. I believe it's a heart condition. And if you're trying to find love and affirmation from another significant other that's not your spouse or your girlfriend or whatever, rather than beat yourself up, maybe check where that heart condition is. And then the second point is, even if you are married, there is still a desire and a need for love and affirmation that goes above what Sophie can provide for me. And I personally believe that it comes from God. So that all kind of ties in together. So.
Wait, your question the second follow-up question was what exactly? Whether or not we...
Oh, I guess where's the line? Because there should be some kind of boundary still,
But
I don't want to make a rule for everybody.
That's true, yeah. You know yourself.
Right, boundaries are kind of iffy because it's also a cultural thing, boundaries. So I think you would definitely need the counsel of somebody whom you believe to be wise. Hopefully they are wise. But yeah, I do agree it's a hard thing. Because if you're in situations like that, there's a reason for why you are inclined to do certain things. So,
Mhm.
something to think about.
I'm back.